everyone, another tips and tricks video. This one's going to be a little bit more of an oddity, I suppose. I'm not going to be talking about unit interaction or hotkeys or anything like that. I'm actually going to be talking about your menu. So some of you are brand new to StarCraft and some of you are super advanced in StarCraft. Either one can be surprisingly without very crucial elements to their gameplay. Beginners can very quickly realize, like, hey, maybe I should actually be able to click on my enemy units, and advanced players might never realize that they can have different sets of unit life bars and all that jazz. So I want to go over it really quick for anyone who is still wondering what's going on with the menu interface. So I think everyone can understand menu interfaces by now. I'm not going to assume that you're computer illiterate. I'm going to assume that you are illiterate, and you can do this, but of course, windowed full screen, usually the way to go. Background model, graphics, whatever. Some pro gamers will put theirs on low specifically, but not because they have a crappy computer, but because it's generally helps with being able to see like the game, kind of, it just is. Like, I don't actually see that much of a purpose. I'm not a pro gamer, and you'll have other pro gamers that say, like, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, some pro gamers will be on super, super low settings, or they'll have a combination of settings that they think helps them the most. So it's very particular. And then sound, not too much to be said there. Voice chat, he uses that. Mouse and keyboard, that's going to be all up to you guys. I would just suggest maybe to enable mouse wheel zoom if you're playing, and disable Alt-Tab short key. Or disable Windows key, rather. Alt-Tab I still use, but maybe you want to disable that as well. Gameplay, though, this is really where the important stuff is located, especially because Blizzard did something that's very bizarre that I still don't think they fixed, but don't quote me on that, which is this is not automatically checked. And I can't. I don't know. I really don't. So you might be reading it and thinking, enable enemy unit selection, what the hell does that mean? And why is it important? So if you don't have this checked, when you go into a game and you're thinking back to all the tutorials you've ever seen, as you prep yourself for your first ladder game, and you go and scout, because that's what good players do, and you try and click on a Stargate or something, and you're just unable to do it. You're like, what the hell is going on? That's because this isn't automatically checked off, and it boggles the mind as to why they would ever uncheck it automatically. But hopefully they fix it. I don't know. If you don't have it checked, please, for the love of God, check it. I think their argument was that it might be confusing for players when they click on their opponent's buildings, like, wait, is this my building? I don't understand. But I think that's crap. I really do. I think you guys would understand. And you do need to see what your opponent is making, whether that's a Stargate, or it's a evolution chamber, or it's, whatever, right? And you also want to see your units, your opponent's upgrades, which is another part that you're going to be scouting. So you need this selected for the love of God. Okay, that little rant aside. These other ones I think are actually not too bad. I think these are mostly checked automatically, so not too difficult. Display build grid might not be, so I would just doing that as well. That's going to help you actually set your buildings correctly. It'll show you what placement you can and cannot put it on, so there's no more of those holes, ideally, that you didn't think were there. Now alerts, actually, that's a little bit tricky. Alerts are the things that pop off to the left that say, like, hey, you have a command center that finished, or hey, your army's under attack. And sometimes that's not too helpful because you accidentally click on it, for instance, and it takes you to it. And, that can actually mess up the flow of your game. But kind of up to you. I don't find it too obnoxious most of the time, but sometimes I guess it'll be pretty bad. Select all larvae. Do not check that. Heavily suggest do not check it, as that'll make everything... It's like playing Brood War all over again, which is more difficult, not less difficult. Display experience points. I personally do not use this, but a lot of programmers do, and to be honest, I would suggest putting it on. Like, I'll just put it on right now. Well, actually, no, this is my wrong account to put it on. So, right. If you're playing on your account, which I don't do with this one, then display experience points. Reason, not because it makes it look any prettier, because you actually want to know your experience points, because who the hell does? It's because in the chance that you kill something that then goes into the fog of war, you'll actually see the experience points tell you whether or not you killed it. So if you don't know if you've killed the war prism that last shot, this will help you. Always show unit life bars for when you're playing. I guess you can get away with damaged, but I don't see a reason when you're playing not to have always show unit life bars. If it's normal, they just won't be shown at all, I think. And then selected is only when you box click over them do they show the health bars. It's just, it's always going to be better to be always. Control groups unclickable or hidden, I would say. I don't know why unassignable is there. I think that's weird. But hidden or unclickable, so you don't accidentally click on them while you're doing a bunch of billion other things. I don't have flyer helper on, and this is, of course, your colors if you're into that. I didn't bother with them. Or maybe I changed it to white. I don't know. I did change it to white. Okay, yeah, because white's cool. Team color intensity, maybe if you really like the colors. And again, if you're colorblind, maybe colorblind mode to help you out as well. Game speed should always be on faster, if that's not clear. This is actually one important thing here, besides all the blocked people I have, is I would say rejoin channels on login, if you actually like in-game channels, and privacy. This is kind of weird. Maybe you want it, maybe you don't. But this one here. Set status to busy when playing a game. So that means that the last guy that you just can't rush can't start messaging you saying, you know, a bunch of BM shit when you're in the next game. And, you know, if you're really focused, your friend going, hey, what are you doing right now, doesn't interrupt you either. And then I would suggest getting Game Heart for your observer and replays. But that kind of does it. The hotkeys are a whole nother issue, to be honest. Take way too long to go over in this video. But, right, I just went through kind of everything you would need to know about StarCraft's menu interface. And I hope it was helpful for anyone out there. Bye.